The impact of a teacher's guidance is far-reaching as they contribute to the development of future leaders and change makers through their unwavering dedication. Teachers inspire students to dream big, to think critically, and they contribute meaningfully to society. And to teach people to say contribute.
Yes, speaking of teaching, but what is the catalyst behind the path of impact and the spark that ignites the passion within individuals to pursue teaching and shaping the minds of tomorrow? We delve into the personal stories and motivations of two educators, independent education consultant Esther Tyson. I get to meet Esther Tyson. And of course, teacher at Crystal House International, Jason Richards.
Yay! Hi, Jason.
Welcome to Sunrise.
Thank you so much for being here with us on this very special Teachers' Day.
Yes.
I could have done it with a few lessons on when to pause at the comma. I am curious to know, I said earlier that I could have never been a teacher, but I am curious to know what inspired you both to become teachers.
Yes.
Okay, do you go first, Jason, or do I?
Ladies first.
Okay. So, as a child, I loved to read. I would hide and read books and all of this. So reading was my passion.
Yes.
And so I think it's a natural development. I developed a desire to be able to teach children how to read, because to me it revealed to you a world that probably is not in your natural space. And so that was, I think, that what inspired me to develop this love of teaching.
I love that. Did you always pretend? Come, used to line up my dolly them, you know. I'm used to teach them, but I used to beat them too. I'm curious to know what inspired you.
For me, it's the support of other teachers when I was in high school. Shout out to Inzid High School. Shout out to Miss Alafia Noel and Mr. Ashley Gale, who would have been the influence that drive me to this point. It's really a kind of triumph story in some sense, because I am from a community in Spanish Town, Olmsted, that is known as, you know, you can quote unquote as a volatile one. And so the environment for me was really toxic, and it was easy to, you know, be involved into crime and violence, and it was the influence of these teachers who had really get me to this point. You know, Mr. Gale was like a father to me, and I didn't have one. I don't have one. And, you know, the way he teaches me and nurture us there at that time was really the inspiration. And I was really good. He was the TD teacher and was really good at TD, technical drawing, building. So he was really my influence.
I love that you can draw on that experience. And you know, do you think teachers really know what an impact they have on their students, or even can have on their students, and how important that has been in both of your journeys?
I think some teachers know that, and some teachers realize that later on in life, because the impact can be positive and negative. I have this question that when I'm doing professional development sessions with teachers, I usually ask them, who are the teachers that you remember the most from when you were in school? And inevitably, the answer is those that made me feel valued and those who were terrible.
What are these?
It's a spectrum.
That's right. And so what is the impact that you want to have? If as a teacher you make a child feel loved and seen, and you as a teacher will help that child to accomplish things that normally they wouldn't do because of the relationship that you have with them. And so a teacher's relationship with children is so important. Before they begin to teach content. They must develop, I mean, there's this focus on SEL, social and emotional learning these days, because it is necessary, especially in our country with so much abuse in the homes, we see it. That teacher, the research shows that one person can impact a child and change their trajectory. We hear Jason talking about that, right? Yes, and I just want to emphasize that, that in this country especially, we must, as teachers, it is a sacrifice to reach out sometimes and you use your lunchtime to talk to a child who you realize really having it hard. So the teacher, in the Code of Education, you're told that, and parents, students are told, teachers are told, you are locum in parenthesis. You stand in place of the parents.
Wow.
Oh, yes,
and that is the impact that a teacher has for good or for bad.
Yeah.
That's very good. And Jason, as I hear Esther share about the impact, you are a newer teacher. The perspectives now might have been different or are different from what they were then. How do you navigate this space now, especially with students who are impacted by technology, the tablets and screen time? You are operating in a different space at a different time. What are the challenges that you experience compared to what Esther would have experienced?
It's somewhat similar, but I would say it is much more difficult because the transformation of technology into our world and with the introduction of it towards young people, especially with social media, it's almost as though with teachers and social media are competing to win over the students. And I must say, social media is really leading by miles. But it's a real challenge. It's a really challenge for us in the classroom. One is to just get the students' attention. It's very difficult because whatever they see on social media tends to be the thing that interests them. No longer teacher interests students. You know, one time students would want to be like a teacher and they used to admire teacher. No, I think the respect is going down. I think a lot of things is being changed. But there are still teachers working hard. There are still teachers who are being that parent for these students. And really and truly, that's what we are. If you should check it, we spend most of the time with the students more than the parents. And so imagine the challenge that we face. And quite often I notice that when you'll find some parents, when you talk to some parents, I talk to them about them child, them I say, that's not my child. It's almost like a new child. And I'm saying that sometimes for me it's like, whoa, you should be here to see your child sometimes.
I'm wondering if the teacher education should be informed or refined by new pedagogical approaches, particularly because of those reasons.
Yes, I think it can be, but I think parents has to be a little bit more responsible. The parenting in Jamaica, I would say, not quoting from any statistics, but just through observation, during my experiences, is to see that the parenting skills are very weak, especially when it comes on to boys. I don't think we know how to really treat the boys. And one thing I must say, though, the boys are extremely sensitive nowadays. I think, and I would like to appeal to Jamaica for this, especially the men in Jamaica, to just please spend time with the boys, teach them how to manage their emotions, because this is something that they're not doing very well. In fact, I found the girls to be managing their emotions way
because they're
better
allowed
than the boys.
And from a very early age, boys really aren't. It sounds like we need a school for parents. And I would be signing up. Because it's hard.
I agree, but the thing is this, nobody teaches us how to parent. And majority of us get our children in an unwanted situation. And then we have to become these parents that has to deal with the challenges and life of our economic or social environment.
Do you know, years ago when I used to write in the Gleaner, one of the things I suggested to deal with the issues that were there and developing even more is that when there's a mother who is pregnant and we have clinics, right? They have to go to prenatal clinic. I suggested, along with that, have them sign up for parenting sessions. That the
at least 15 years.
Yeah, Ministry of Health, and have them learn how to manage the babies because they don't know.
It's a cycle, and it's definitely a big, broad issue. So you are definitely part of the solution, which is amazing to have wonderful teachers like yourself doing exactly what you're doing and continuing to consult and help others to learn, because like I said, it's a long road and it's such an impactful role. So we thank you and we appreciate you so much. And we could talk about this forever. I feel like we need a whole show. We have a gift as well, because we don't want you to leave.
Really?
This morning, celebrating our teachers. They're gifting our very special teachers this morning with baskets that will keep their second home, the classroom, Spick and span. Thank you so much. And thank you to Lana for making that happen. That was Esther Tyson, independent education consultant, and Jason Richards, teacher at Crystal House International. TK is up next with the morning news. Stick and stay.